Welcome everyone. In any development of any state or country, industries and manufacturing sector will play a very dominant role, especially in terms of employment generation or job creation. Manufacturing sector is a steady sector, because even though we have more services sector is more likely to be prone to external shocks. For example, if US, stops H1B visas, our service sector will get impacted, right? So IT and ITS is fine, but it is more prone to global shocks and policy decisions, whereas industries and manufacturing sector will definitely ensure long-term and sustainable growth. Chinese economy, if you see Chinese economy, that is the key. Anyway, we are talking about AP economy, right? In the AP economy paper. So basically for Andhra Pradesh, industries becomes very, very important. A proper development of industries becomes very, very important, essentially on three factors. One, AP had lost significant industrial base because of the bifurcation. Say for example, pharma and lot of defense SMEs and even other small and medium pharma, for example. There are almost over 500 bulk drug industries in Hyderabad, which were totally lost to AP. Similarly, we do have a lot of defense and aviation related industries that were also there in Hyderabad. So anyway, after 2014, there was an immediate need to ramp up industrial presence in Andhra Pradesh so that the job generation can be done, job creation can be done, and employment growth will happen, and a proper manufacturing sector and industrial base is very, very important to have a steady GSDP growth, right? So that is one thing, the bifurcation related aspects. Second issue is Andhra Pradesh already has a good base of industries as we speak. For example, now industries contribute 23% of gross state domestic product, that is GSDP. This is the latest figure, that is 2019-20, year ended March 2020. The exports are also almost 99,000 crore. The exact figure is 98,983 crore. This is the industrial exports from Andhra Pradesh. Okay. And similarly, we have a good presence of 300 industrial parks, but we need to trigger the growth. There is a catalyst that is required to spread the growth of industries in a rapid way. That's why it's very important that industries has to be developed. The third point, why a proper development of industries is good for AP is because we have inherent advantages. We have a coastline, 974 kilometers coastline. We have some of the natural resources or minerals that helps us to push industrial growth in a significant way. It is because of these three factors. One, the bifurcation related blues, to overcome them. The second, there is an existing industrial base in AP and we need to bank on that and spur further growth. Third, the inherent advantages in the form of coastline connectivity is very, very important, right? And a good agricultural base. The happy marriage between agriculture and industries will also very much vital for industrial growth and the coastline and all others. It is in this context that we need to understand the importance of industries, and by factoring this, a new industrial development policy has been announced by government released this year, and the purpose of this is to spur growth of industries, push job creation as well as GSDP growth. We need to achieve higher GSDP growth. Now the point is, what are the objectives? The objectives of the new policy is to create employment. Of course, that is the most important aspect, that is to create employment. And secondly, to match the national average in gross value added, or we can also say GSDP, we need to keep up pace with the national average. Then Balanced growth for regions. We do have an issue of regional imbalances in AP, and also communities. We need to have an inclusive approach for growth. There are some, this is what policy says, okay. There are some areas where growth development was less. There are some areas where development was high, and communities also. So, and the fourth one is sustainable growth. We need to have in eco-friendly or environmental friendly growth, that is sustainable growth. So friends, now what are the pillars of the policy? What are the pillars of the new industrial policy? If you see, there is an equal focus on existing units. See, it's not that, you know, in the love of something new, we ignore the existing ones. It is equally important to encourage the existing industrial infrastructure, industrial businesses or units. You know, in our rush to attract new ones, we cannot you know, ignore the existing units. So the equal focus on existing industrial units, as well as you know, the new investors and entrepreneurs who are likely to come up. That is one of the objectives. Then asset creation in infrastructure. We need to create new assets, and also skill pool. We need to create new skills and you know, nurture them, so that there will be more and more professional or vocational employment opportunities. Then the next one is to reduce cost and time, time in setting up new units. See, setting up new unit is a nightmare. You know, for example, when we were you know, moving from the old regime to GST, my own institute GST registration took a lot of time, though despite all that they say you get online and all that, they have to come and verify whether we are displaying the GSTN number or not. Okay, they will never come. They will call. See, all these issues, don't write all this. But there are issues always in setting up new businesses. We need to get a trade license, we need to get a labor license, we need to get environmental clearance, we need to get fire safety clearance. Okay, of course, National Green Tribunal, if it is a bigger one, we have to get NGT or we have to appeal for it, right? So there are a lot of requirements. So the new policy also focuses on reducing cost and time. The more time I spend for getting approvals, I start incurring costs and you know, maintenance costs, and because the production has to start fast, that will be hit. So that is also one thing. And de-risking units. If something goes wrong, what will happen? If an industry, for example, now Corona came, COVID came, right? Now a lot of businesses and industries are really struggling. So do we give any support mechanism in times of any unforeseen or unexpected crisis? If I have that confidence, I don't mind doing a business, right? So that is what do we mean by de-risking. And special support, this is also very important. Whether there is also need to, now see friends, the government jobs are actually coming down over a period of time. You know, but in all sectors, not only in group 1 or group 2. Now, so lucky that we are having regular recruitment calendar and all that in Andhra Pradesh. But you see in our neighboring state, which is Telangana, group 1 has been waiting since my childhood. Okay, it has been very late. We should appreciate AP government for this, trying to streamline things. And I believe the next notification is almost ready in the calendar. Next new calendar year, they are going to bring it. So it is something good for people of AP or the job seekers of AP. But in general, the government jobs are coming down. So all the time, the weaker sections are primarily relying on the government jobs. Now we need to ensure that they will also get into more and more businesses and on their own. So some support mechanism is required. A special support package has also been announced in the new industrial policy for SC, ST, BC minorities, entrepreneurs, and also women. Okay, women in business also very, very important. So these are some of the you know, the fundamental aspects of this essay. If this question comes, or if you want to understand this, then let us identify the key policy measures. Well, after all, what is this new industrial policy saying? What are the incentives that it is offering? What are the promises it is making, and what are the facilities that are being created for entrepreneurs to attract investment? So they are the key important. Friends, always you remember, in any industrial policy in an economy paper, you should first focus on fiscal incentives. Money matters. Economy means money. Anything on taxes, GST or fiscal incentives, because for a business, the fiscal incentive is the most important one. Okay, I am not interested in, I will provide you some nice, support structure. No, first talk about money. How I am going to get some tax concessions? What kind of reimbursements I am getting? What kind of thing I am getting? For example, on education, you see, this comes under consulting. We have 18% GST. Okay, so this becomes a very big burden on the people, right? 18% GST on the fee is very tough. So the issue is, this is a very significant problem that we need to see. So special focus, we need to understand. See, the policy documents, I have seen the entire policy document. The document is very huge, but what do you write in 10 minutes? What do you write in 8 minutes? What are the top points you have to write? That should be our focus. So the first important thing is the fiscal incentives. Let us discuss what are the fiscal incentives. Then for different set of industries, we have micro, small, medium, MSMEs. Then we also have medium to large and mega projects, all that we are having. Then the next is, what is the policies also offering land allotment, that is industrial zoning. And the next important issue is the issue of ease of doing business. Ease of doing business is very important, and AP has been staying on almost on the first rank, right? So how do you see that? That's also very important. The next issue is there is a new initiative that is like ease of the YSR AP1 business center, which is support center. That's a very important point you need to understand. This YSR AP1 promises a complete support for industries business support center. So that is very important point. So let us see one by one. Of course, there are certain other measures also we need to understand. So let me go to a PDF, because we can't write all, and we also need, my purpose is to provide you a ready-made answer for this question. So let me share the screen. This is how we need to structure your answer. This is one of the expected question, friends. So we are actually, I already explained to you the early parts. Okay. So this will be more easy for you to read. Just give me 1 sec. So how the question might come here? The question might come as discuss the salient features of AP industrial, industrial development policy. That is what you need to understand. Then they may also ask another question. This may be asked in different way, like explain how the new industrial development policy of Andhra Pradesh will promote industrial development. See, this is what I have already mentioned to you in my explanation. There is also point is that there is also a lot of competition. Why do we require a policy? Because when somebody is trying to invest in AP, they will always compare with the other states. What is the advantage if I am going to come to AP? Why, instead of setting up in Gujarat or Telangana, why should I go to AP or Tamil Nadu? Because now we have very competitive policies. Telangana is also like, IPAS, Telangana Industrial Clearance System, which is called TS IPAS. So that is also there, where deemed approvals, automatic approvals, all that are being given. Nowadays, every state is competing with each other to attract investments in, I will give land free or I will give you something else free, like that. So that's also important that we will have a policy. Now this policy objectives I told you, which you can use it in the exam in the same way. Then the guiding principles of the policy for the next 3 years. This is for the 3 years. Okay. Then this up to this part we have already discussed, which I could not write beyond that. Now let us see what are the thirst areas. We have so many industries, right? But what are the main industries that can be developed? What are the priority industries for Andhra Pradesh government now in part of this industrial policy? One is food processing, pharma and biotechnology, textiles, electronics, footwear and leather, toys and furniture, petrochemicals, aeroplane and defense, automobiles and components, machinery, precision equipment and raw material based industries. So friends, these are the top 10 thirst areas that the new policy is identified as the thirst areas for AP's industrial development. Now, let us come to this part. As I said, what are the main aspects that you should write? What are the policy measures which are defined as state interventions? The key policy measures or state interventions offered as per policy are very diverse. In fact, this is a 12-page section in the policy document which I have rather abridged it to this, because there is no point in giving you 20 pages now, right? You have to write the exam in next 15 days. So the purpose of the coaching, actually it started, is to give you ready-made answers. So let us focus on this. So as I said, fiscal incentives are offered for micro and small enterprises by the way of reimbursement of 100% stamp duty and transfer duty. Now what is stamp duty and transfer duty? When you actually buy the land, when you get land allotted, it is very much important that you will have to get it registered and the stamp duty. So that's a very important one. So in the fiscal incentives, this point you need to mention. Then the next important aspect is, we do have fixed power cost reimbursement of 1 rupee per unit for a period of 5 years. You have to remember and mention that from the date of commencement of non-commercial production. Then reimbursement of 100% SGST for 5 years, say state GST for 5 years, and 15% subsidy on fixed capital investment. This is up to MSMEs, of course. Up to 20 lakh that is given. It is also important that interest rate should not be high. If an MSME is taking bank loan and investing, they cannot bear the interest, because small companies get a higher interest rate because the risk is higher. So the policy offers a 3% subsidy on the loans taken by MSMEs, for fixed capital investment. Then the land conversion charges for industrial use up to a maximum limit of 10%. For example, now I take an agricultural land, for example. I am allotted agricultural land. So how do I convert that land to the industrial use? There are charges for it. We need to spend money on that. So that will be given up to 100%, the 25%, sorry, with a maximum ceiling of 10 lakhs. Then green measures. See, now everything has to be green, right? So that's why even I am putting some of the things are also in green color. So, but there is a cost. So government can, at a consolidated level, government can offer that facilities, green facilities, common facilities, for example, wastewater treatment. If it is a case of pharma, for example, pharma clusters are there, the effluent treatment plant, if some of you are from Vizag or some of you from Hyderabad, we have effluent treatment plants in pharma industry, pharma areas. Then emission monitoring system, or all this will be offered in the new Andhra Pradesh Industrial Infrastructure Corporation Industrial Parks, which is the apex agency for SEZs or industrial parks or whatever. Then government will also provide 100% quality power to all categories of industries round the clock, that is 24/7. Earlier, before bifurcation, power was a rare commodity. We never used to get, all of us used to buy inverters and everything. But nowadays the power cuts have almost gone. Of course, because of rains, we don't have power now. And in fact, I also had to suffer, we also had to suffer because 2 days there was no power and net in the area, in some areas in Hyderabad where I was also there. Okay, but otherwise this is an exception. Then a special package of concessions is also being offered to SC/ST BCs. Now, what are the concessions? At least one you mentioned. There are 9 points here, but one you mentioned, that is reservation of, main important, reservation of 16.2% of plots for SCs, 6% to STs in industrial parks, so that the bigger ones will not bulldoze the weaker sections, and they will also get some kind of land allotment. Then of course, ease of doing business is the buzzword in Andhra Pradesh. Now, ease of doing business is done in many ways. I have mentioned only one thing here, but corruption-free, transparent governance, then timely regulatory clearances, post-investment facilitation centers. Generally, what happens? People are only interested in getting money. After you pay something or after you invest, if you call, they don't respond. Okay, so that is the thing. We have to do post investment facilitation and service. For example, all of you have paid fees. If you call even after the batches, that is after 21st or 22nd, I should be able to respond, right? That's why I never harass people. If somebody calls me, I'll never call them asking them to join. It should be your decision. My job is to do the best, right? Even at the government level, that is the same thing. We should be ready to address the issues and cater to the post-investment. Once MOU is signed, if you are not, again, if you go to the office, the IAS officer will not meet you, then you feel disgusted, right? You feel dejected, frustrated, and also feels like committing suicide ultimately. Okay, because you are investing lot of money. So this should not be there. Then the issue of end-to-end demand approval, on-demand deemed approvals has to be given. See, for everything we need not go to government, right? These are the parameters for ease of doing business. We'll also have one more discussion on ease of doing business and why and how AP is doing on that. So the declaration of intent, I can give a self-declaration as an entrepreneur that I am ready to fulfill some of these conditions and rules. I am ready to not to evade taxes. Whatever I am saying, all is true. I will give a self-declaration. You check later, give the approval. If I am wrong or if I am lying, you penalize me later. But first you give the approval, assuming that I am declaring. See, all this comes under ease of doing business. The new policy also offers that, and it has also a robust. The S is to be corrected here. A robust single desk portal. A robust single, very strong, it should not be with lot of problems. We correct this, otherwise we may write in the same way like that. A robust is here, right? Okay, this is also important because we cannot be made to run from pillar to post to get approvals. That is the thing. Then land allotment. This is an interesting issue, friends. This is called industrial zoning and allotment. See, we have Ministry of Environmental guidelines. We have heritage guidelines. For example, if somebody is allotting sorry, it's normal cough only, not COVID. If somebody is allotting land near Kondapalli Fort in Vijayawada, so there are guidelines how far we can allot land. We have an issue sometime back in the United Andhra Pradesh that somebody gave land in Durgam Cheruvu. By that time, even before bifurcation also, Industrial Secretary was Jayesh Ranjan, a very good IAS officer. Okay, so there were some problems with APIAC. The land was allotted near Durgam Cheruvu. The land was given to L&T. Larsen and Turbo. But when they started construction, the environmental ministry objected. You can't have the land here. Heritage department objected. It's very close to Golconda. You can't have. Then I did not buy land from a private party, right? I bought from government. You're all government. Why the hell I buy land from you? Then another department will come and approve, object. Who is responsible? That's why the new policy, proposes or offers that let first land be clear. Let us do all the zoning, allotment, then only we will allot. We just not allot some land, then get the investor into trouble. So this is to avoid post allotment problems, and the policy also says that mega industrial parks will also be developed with plug and play facilities, that if we should be able to start fast. Again, going there and looking here and there will not help. Okay, so that is a very important point. And the skill is also a big issue. We have skill issues. NASSCOM is doing, Skill Development Council is doing, right? We have Skilling India programs and all that. So we have Skill Development Corporation also working, right? So to address skill availability issues, 30 skill development centers will be set up in Andhra Pradesh according to the policy, and there will be 12 skill development universities will also come up, and a digital platform, an online portal to match the skills. For example, I am good in a particular skill. If some industry looks, you should be able to, like all these, the web portals or whatever, job portals, all these work like this only. You collect data, then segmentize and offer to the people who want. In the similar way, a digital platform will also be developed to provide matched skill labor in Andhra Pradesh to suit the requirement of various businesses. Then a multifaceted business establishment center, this is what I was telling. So the YSR AP1 will set up. This will provide industrial supermarket or regulatory supermarket, like a one-stop resource and support center for industries. So friends, this is how the new policy promises a range of things. And how do you conclude that the new policy definitely, if all these are implemented, is expected to drive growth in the manufacturing sector. And as supplementary measures, government is also proposing lot of structural reforms in the industrial sector, and I think they will be coming out in soon. But this kind of policy and approach is very much important for industries to develop in Andhra Pradesh. So that is what the new industrial policy. In industries, we can expect questions like what is the new industrial policy? Industrial promotion policy is a standard question in most of the exams, so you need to update this. And these are the best point, friends. Please read them, just 2 pages for you, and try to do. Then we may get a question on SEZs and MSMEs also, that will ramp up the discussion. Tomorrow I will have more classes, additional classes for you. The target is to complete all this by 21st at least, so that you will get some time. Today I will take stock of all the material that is sent. With today's there should be 19. Everybody should be getting 19. So please check. By tomorrow afternoon you please check. If there is any issue in getting material and all that, you please call me. Okay. Thanks for the class. We'll meet again and in another class. Okay. Thank you.